This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball EXCEL Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the Game of the Week in the 78-81 Fall League. And tonight we're in the American League North. We have a series between the Expos and Indians, and it's been a great year for the Indians. They've already clinched this division, and they're playing for gravy. Well, they're not really playing for gravy. They kind of locked their spot in. They get a bye. They get a 2 seed. That's how great the year's been. They couldn't catch the Royals for the 1. And they can't fall into the 3 hole. Expos having their best year that I can remember, and they're in their wheelhouse. This is the era, 78 to 81. You know, this is where they should be starting to get pretty good. And they're having a pretty good year, and they may make the playoffs the first time in my long memory. I can't remember when they ever made the playoffs in my carryover league. Let's take a look at what's happened in this series that opened up at the home of the Expos. It's Rick Waits for the Indians and Rudy May. Nice little acquisition for the Expos. This is a pretty good game. Low-scoring affair. We get a sac fly after a Dan Norman triple. They get 1-0. Stays that way into the 8th when Rudy May finally, after 7 shutout innings, runs out of gas. A walk, double, and then a 2-run single by Joe Charbonneau. And it's 2-1 Cleveland. And you're thinking, there's those Indians, division winners, just going to roll into their opponent. But the Expos have other ideas. Tony Perez gets a triple. My goodness, that ball must have bounced around a while. And then Jim Kern is brought in to close it out for the Indians, but he surrenders a tying double to Larry Parrish after a scoreless 9th at the top. Kern is rested, pulled, since the game's tied. They don't want to use up all his innings. And Will McInerney proceeds to blow the game with back-to-back triples. It's a 3-2 final for the Expos, and they're up 1-0. Game 2. Can they keep home field in a best-of-5 series? It'll be Gaylord Perry and Steve Rogers, the best that both teams have to offer. Perry extending his stay. Yeah, he should have been on the Padres by now, winning a Cy Young, but of course the Indians said, we ain't giving you up. So here he is, and he had a tough day, matched up against Steve Rogers. A 2-run homer by Ron Fairley. It's 2-0. Stays that way into the 7th, and then Steve Rogers falls on hard times. The Indians have a great offense. They've been dormant to this point. They bat around in the 7th and score 5 times, making it 5-2. And then a couple more runs in the 8th, courtesy of a Lee Lacy 2-run homer. The Expos, though, they're a bulldog, man. These Expos fight and claw. They get 4 singles in the bottom of the 9th, but come up short. Indians get a road split with a 7-4 victory. So, Game 3 is in Clevetown. 2 more wins by the Indians will pretty much knock the Expos out of the playoffs. The Expos need to win this series by 3-2 or 3-1. And in Game 3, it is Hal Dews versus Len Barker. A run in the 1st, and then a run in the 4th, and then a run in the 5th. And it's 3-0 visiting Expos. But Hal Dews has a rough inning, and he gives up. Indians will be cold and then bat around. And that's what happened. They batted around again, take a 4-3 lead. Dews was pulled for Dave Hamilton. They get 3 singles and a 6, and it's a 5-3 game. And they have Len Barker on the mound. You're thinking Indians going to win this one, right? Nope. 8th inning, with a 5-3 lead. Cromartie singles. Larry Parrish ties it up with a 2-run homer. It goes to the 9th. Tom Buskey is brought in to face Andre Dawson. Andre Dawson takes Tom Buskey's pitch and puts it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. It is a 6-5 win. Elias Sosa, 2 innings of relief for the Expos. Back and forth series. Expos reclaim home field and are up 2-1. And the Indians are in danger of actually losing a series, which is very rare for them. They're having such a great year. Let's take a look at the overall standings now. Here we go. Indians are 18-9, playing 667 ball. Here are your Expos. +2 right now. They're looking around. You got Milwaukee, you got the Twins. They play each other. Then up here, you got the Orioles and the Red Sox. They play each other. The Expos need some help, but they also need to finish 3 games over 500 if they win today. They can't finish 4 above. But 3 games over 500 would mean that they'd have to root for the Red Sox and for the Twins to win by... This is the tough one right here, though. They only need one of these teams to fail, really, so... I guess there's a way the Twins and Brewers could both make it. These guys are all done out here. So, yeah, that's a lot to play for. We are in Clevetown for a game 4. Oh, boy. We got a nice little matchup for you, folks. For the Expos, Scott Sanderson. Nice young pitcher here. In 80 was 16-11 with a 3.11 ERA, pitching on 3 days rest. One of those big righties this team had. My goodness. The Expos, they had David Palmer and Scott Sanderson and Steve Rogers and Schatzeder and all sorts of guys. So really the golden era of the Montreal Expos. And for your Indians, Dennis Eckersley, 20-game winner for the Red Sox in 1978. And Boston was like, we don't have room for him. And the Indians were like, what? You don't have room for him? Well, we'll keep him. So that's why the Indians are doing so well. They have Gaylord Perry's 21-win Padre card and Dennis Eckersley's 20-win Red Sox card, along with Rick Waits and Len Barker in the rotation. No wonder they won their division. So great news for the Indians. Anyway, let's get started by the mistake by the lake. Leading off, Tim Purple Rains. 1-6 is a sky to center. Andre Dawson. 2-7 is a base hit for the Ace Stealer. They've been stealing a lot against the +1 Rahasi, and they're going to try again. And he's in there. And they get the T rating, which is only 3, but they hit it. So Dawson winds up at third base. And it's Warren Cromartie. 3-10 is hit by the pitch. Runs in the corners for Larry Parrish. 5-10 catcher's card. This might score a run. Mr. Hassey is a 3-3 catcher. Looking for a foul out if they can get it. They get a ground ball C with the... Oh, you know what? Larry Parrish is an A bunter. That means the infield had to come up. That's one of my rules. So it's not a run-scoring ground ball C. It's a runner holds up at third ground ball C. Tough break there. Just a little nubber in front of the plate. Dawson does not risk getting thrown out. Hassey throws over to first. You got second and third with 2 outs. And you have Ron Fairley. Now, if Parrish wasn't an A bunter, the guys would have played back at regular position and the runner would have scored. Second and third, 2 outs, Ron Fairley. 59 off of Eckersley is a strikeout. Bottom of 1, Miguel Delaney, 111, is a roller to first. Toby Hara, 310, the whiff. Mike Hargrove, 34, rolls over to second base. Top of 2, Gary Carter, 67, single 1 to 10, doesn't get it, lines out. Stevie Ray Braun, 56, bouncer to second X. This is Dwayne Kuiper at 2 at second base, makes the play. And with 2 outs, it's Tim Foley. 4-7 is a strikeout. Bottom of 2, Anders Thornton, 410, short X. This is Foley, a 3E19 at short. Uh-oh, and he boots that ground ball. Tough break for the pose. Ron Hassey, 58, second X. This is Doug Flynn, who's a 1E8 second baseman. And that will be a 4-6-3 double play. Well, half double play combination is excellent. And makes up for the deficiency of the other guy. Lee Lacy, 46 is a pop to third. Scoreless into the third, it's Doug Flynn. 110 base hit. Tim Purple Reigns, 44 center X. Rick Manning, a black hole in center field. Dude's a 1E2. Good luck with that. 1 out. Andre Dawson, 67, single 1 of 10. Gets the 10 off Eckersley. 2 on for Woe Crow. 66, and Warren Cromartie gets the hit off of Eckersley's card. 111, single dot dot. Pose on the board. Runs in the corners, 1 out. Infield come up for that A-bunting Larry Parrish. Cleanup hitter's an A-bunter. It's funny. 3-6. Let's take a look at Larry Parrish's card, folks. What a magnificent year Larry had in 1979. There wasn't some guy named Mike Schmidt in the National League. My goodness. Larry Parrish had one of the best years from any third baseman. 30 home runs and a 307 average. 39 doubles. A rangy 2 third baseman. Larry Parrish's best year, I believe. 3-6. That is a 3-run bomb off Eckersley. And your Poes are 21 outs away from winning the series and getting into playoff contention. Ron Fairley, 33, pops the third. Gary Carter, 65, on a 1 fly ball, and it is 4-0 Indians. Really having a rough series scoring runs. Their best outbursts have been when they bat around in a single inning, but they have not been able to chip away and score runs in individual innings whatsoever. Here's Rick Manning. 3-6, rolls to first. Joey DeBoo-Boo, a.k.a. Jerry Dubzinski, 67's a K, and with 2 outs, it's Dwayne Kuiper. 66, double 1 of 15, is a 2-base hit. Miguel Delaney. 64, short X. Foley again, 319, made a goofball earlier, but this time he makes a clean play. Pose, can they get this 4-0 lead to last? Stevie Ray Braun, 2-4, pitcher. Tim Foley, 610, short X. This is Jerry Dubzinski, a 324 at short, and he makes the play. Doug Flynn, 2-5, lines out to third. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Haven't shown a lot of cards because we haven't rolled on all the cards. The only card we rolled on was Parrish. It'll be Toby Harrah. 43, left X. Sanderson, all day on his card, it seems. Uh-oh. Tim Raines in left field. He's still not quite ready to catch fly balls yet. He's a 4E8 out there, and that's a single. Harrah's an ace stealer. He'll be held. Carter has a -3 arm. You're not going to run on him. Down 4. Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay. 2-7 is a walk. 2 on for Anders Thornton. 57's a K. Ron Hassey. 311 is a strikeout plus injury. An tough break there. They lose their 318 hitting catcher, which means Glenn Boardgame will have to come in. Yep. He's going to have to come in and catch. All right. 2 outs. 2 on. Lee Lacy. 1-4. Pops the second. Well, we go to the 5th inning. It's Tim Purple Reigns. 47's a pop to third. Andre Dawson, 49, rolls the second. And with 2 outs, it's Warren Cromartie. 67, double 1 to 3, base hit. 2 outs for Larry Parrish. This time it's a K. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okie dokie. Indians, quiet series. Hopefully this doesn't carry over into the playoffs and they go one and done. The Indians are kind of set up for success because they're not in the American League East under the thumb of Boston, Baltimore, New York. So they play very well in the carryover league, or they can, I should say, play very well. Often they blow it. And the Tigers, or the Expos, or the Ohio, or not the Expos, but sometimes the Ohio players steal this division. Bottom of the 5th, here's Rick Manning. 47's a base hit for the C Stealer, not going anywhere. Jerry Dubzinski, 211, third B, fielder's choice. He has to be held on base, B stealer for Dwayne Kuiper. 2-4 is a 4-6-3 double play. Scott Sanderson delivering the goods for the Poes in a potential closeout game. We go to the 6th. It's Ron Fairley. 1-2 is a walk. Gary Carter, 2-8, double 1-7, base hit, runners on the corners. Down 4, they're going to bring it up for Stevie Ray Braun. 3-11, right B question mark. This is Fairley. Yeah, no, he's not going to run. Up for A-bunting Tim Foley. 2-9, let's take a look at a card. I haven't seen one in a while. Here is Tim Foley. You may recognize him from the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1979, hitting .288. In 550 plate appearances, he struck out 14 times, folks. This is the era. This is a different era of baseball than what's going on now, when guys made contact, which is a wonderful thing for the sport. Love to see a bat hit the ball and go somewhere. It's a fun, fun thing. Regardless if it goes over the wall or through the hole or over the bag, you get the idea. Anyway, 2-9, double 1-19. That's a 2-base hit. Run scores, second and third, 1 out. Still bringing the infield up for Doug Flynn. 2-7, that's a base hit because you brought the infield up. And oh my folks, it's the Expos world. We're just living in it. And this is a very inauspicious way for the Indians' regular season to end, going into the playoffs on a cold note. They have to reignite themselves, it would seem. Eckersley will try and finish this inning if possible. Tim Raines, 48, pops to first. He will actually leave the game, and they'll get somebody with a glove out in left field. That will be Jim Wolford. He'll run out in the left field there at the bottom of the inning. Henry Dawson, 53 off Eckersley, rolls to first base. We'll hook Mr. Eck. 7-0 game. Pose trying to crash the playoff party, setting themselves up very nicely here. It'll be Miguel Delaney. 1-6, triple, 1-16, double, that's a triple. Infield comes up for Toby Hara. 59, double 1-11 off of Sanderson, and there goes your shutout. It's 7-1. He's a starter 7. Mike Hargrove. 46 is a sac fly. No, it's a fly ball to right field. No sac fly. He's on second. Andre Thornton. 49, second X. This is Doug Flynn, a 1E8 second baseman. Great fielder. Wasn't always a 1, but he was always a good fielder. But a 1E8, 1980. And with 2 outs, it's Glenn Boardgame, a.k.a. Glenn Borgman. Yeah, for the injured Hassey. 2-7, pops to short. Well, 7-1. Top of the 7th. Let's see, we'll go Will McEnany. We'll come trotting down to the Tribe Pen. And face Warren Cromartie. 6-11, first X. This is Thornton at 2E8. Oh, Hargrove at 2E6. Out on the X. Larry Parrish had the big blast early in the game. 5-11 off McEnany. Pitcher X, he's an E0, don't roll. 2 outs. Ron Fairley will stick around and bat. They have Tony Perez on this team, but Fairley's got a good glove and they need the defense up 6. 2-10, double 1-11 fly ball, and he flies out. Stretch time here in Clevetown. We have been listening to the Joe Walsh. But seriously, folks, 1978 LP featuring Life's Been Good, amongst others. Joe Walsh, formerly of the James Gang, had a nice little run out there in Ohio in the early part of the 70s. This is the later part, but I'd like to let Joe Walsh serenade the Clevetown fans. In the bottom of the 7th inning, do they have a rally in them? Do they have some of that mustard in them that got them to this gaudy 18-9 record, or do they roll over and fold up like a cheap card table? Scott Sanderson's a starter 7. 3 base runners will get him out of there. And leading off, it'll be Lee Lacy. All the Expo defense is in, with Perez and Norman still on the bench. Lee Lacy, 1-7's a K. Rick Manning, 3-6 is a roller to first. And Joey DeBoobaboo, 68. Skies to left field. Scott Sanderson delivering the goods. We go to the 8th. Gary Carter, 211 rolls the third. Batting for Stevie, Ray Braun. Dan Norman. Dan Norman will pinch hit. He was a Met in 79 at 245. And he'll get some work. 6'11", left X. Delaney's a 2 in left field. Makes the grab. And with 2 outs, it's Tim Foley. Foley, of course, I mentioned, we showed his card earlier. He was a Pirate. The Pirates are doing very well without Tim Foley and Phil Garner, who helped them, both of those gentlemen, helped the Pirates win the 79 World Series. But the Pirates have similar players, Junior Kennedy and Bud Harrelson, helping them do very well. So it's interesting to see what they could have had, and still getting the great results with what they do have. And here's the pitch to Tim Foley. 2-10 against the lefty. He has no extra base hits on his card. It's a base hit. And Doug Flynn, 37, pops the third. All right, bullpen is warming. You got Buddy Schultz and Elias Sosa, in case this thing gets wonky. But they're going to ride Sanderson as long as they can. They feel he's just as good as the ace, Steve Rogers. So here we go. Bottom of the 8th. Dwayne Kuiper for the Indians. 311 is hit by the pitch. Miguel Delaney. Let's take a look at a card. Here is Miguel Delaney, 1980. 341 and 550 at-bats. The best batting average of his career. Can steal bases. A rangy 2. Oh, he has trouble throwing a baseball, though. +3 arm in left field. But that's certainly, I'll be willing to put up with that if my dude's hitting 341, right? The pitch to Miguel. 69 off Sanderson is a sky to center. Toby Harrah. Let's take a look at him, since the Indians are going to exit this, you would think. Toby Harrah, 79 card, hit 20 home runs and a 279 batting average and 680 play appearances. Could play third and short. You'd like him to play third defensively, though. Is an ace stealer. One of his best power years. I think he hits 27 of them in 82. Maybe his second best overall career year power-wise. The pitch to Toby. 1-5 is ball 4. 2 on, 1 out, about to break Sanderson, and it's Mike Hargrove. Let's look at the rain delay. The human rain delay. He's taking a practice cut. He's taking a practice cut. Taking a practice cut. He's adjusting his batting glove. Taking a practice cut. Grabbing his crotch. Tapping his helmet. Grabbing his crotch. And tapping his helmet. Hargrove hit 325 in 1979. I think he got hurt. He only had 400 plate appearances, though Strat put his injury on 2. I don't know why they did that. I would have didn't play a full season, but in any event, Hargrove's been the dude for the Indians this year. 2 on, 1 out, trying to make this a game and trying to break Scott Sanderson. Here's the pitch. 1-8, and Hargrove delivers the single to center field. They go station to station, down by as many runs. And Scott Sanderson's a little dejected. He was trying to get through at least the 8th inning. He cannot do it. The needle is on red. He goes 7 2/3. 7 1/3, excuse me. And loads the bases with his team up 6-1. And they're going to go bring in Buddy Schultz. Buddy Schultz in 78 was 2-4 with a 3.80 ERA for the Cardinals. And, the Expos never really had a long career of solid left-handed pitching in their organization. Matter of fact, in the early 70s, they played an entire season without a left-handed pitcher on the roster. You can look that up. You can actually get that team on Strat-O-Matic. I think it's either 73 or 74. No lefties. So, boy, that's tough to go into a game with your opponent knowing you're powerless to get lefties out. Anyway, let's go bring in Buddy here in the 8th with the bases loaded and 1 out. And Andre Thornton. They're going to play back. Thornton Borgman and Lacey. The pitch to Andre Thornton. 2-6 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Glenn Borgman. 35, Borgman gets a single off his card to center field. I think you're still going to go station to station, though. Hara, 16, 17, 18. You're not going to run off Dawson. Not down by so many runs. So the bases are still loaded. Hara is at third. Hargrove at second. Borgman at first. It's 7-2. And Lee Lacey's the hitter. Let's take a look at Lee Lacey. He actually was a Dodger in 78, 261, half a season with 13 home runs, utility player. Plenty of power. Indians pounced on him. How about breaking up the Indians for pouncing on so many talented free agents from other systems instead of just, doing their own guys? Their own guys are good, don't get me wrong. But they added Lee Lacey to the offense. We talked about them adding Gaylord Perry and Dennis Eckersley, and they added McEnany to the bullpen. So they added some nice pieces, and that helped them to this point. So here is the pitch to Lee Lacey. 2-4 is a sky to center field. Buddy Schultz gets out of the mess. It is 7-2 into the ninth. McEnany will continue. It'll be Jim Wolford. 57's a sky to left. Andre Awesome, he's sometimes referred to. 46, base hit. Whoa Crow hit away. 46, second X. This is Kuiper, 2 second baseman. Double play. Nice little outing from McEnany. He goes 2 innings. Bottom of the ninth, they're going to turn it over to Sosa. You don't mess around with this. You go to your closer, even if it's a 5-run lead, to end a series. And it's Elias Sosa. 1979 Expos, 8-7, 195 ERA in 97 innings. Does not give up home runs on his card, as you can see. And it'll be in the ninth. It'll be Rick Manning, Jerry Dubzinski, Dwayne Kuiper. You got Charbonneau on the bench as a potential, if it gets to a situation where the tie run comes up. You want the home run. So Rick Manning will lead off in the ninth. 2-6, pops the first. Jerry DeBoobaboo, 3-12 is a walk. He runs the second, his run's meaningless. Dwayne Kuiper, 1-12, rolls the first. Dubzinski goes to third with 2 outs. It's Miguel Delaney. 59, rolls to second base. Your Expos get a 3-games-to-1 series win. They're very much alive, trying to go to the playoffs. This is the highest moment in the Carryover League history for this young Expo team. They don't have to deal with Blue Monday, that fateful Monday afternoon in Montreal when Rick Monday hit that 10th inning homer. They don't have to deal with that in this scenario. They're in a different league, a different division. See, McEnany gave up just 2 hits. Really bad day for Eckersley. 9 hits and 7 runs. All earned. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Sosa pitches the 9th inning, walks a guy. Schultz comes on. Big inning for him. He gave up a hit and a strikeout. And a fly ball in there. Sanderson does get the win. He's charged for that run in the 8th, though, but it's still a fantastic performance. 6 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. He walked 3. He struck out 5. There's your box. 1009, 108, 711, 27. 2, 3, 4, 6, 4, 6, 2, 3. That is game 4. And let's look at the standings. Both these teams, could they meet again in the playoffs for the 3rd time? It's very possible. Very possible. You could see the Indians, with their spot clinched, just didn't play with any enthusiasm in this series. And they wasted some nice pitching performances in some games. And now year to date, let's look at the team's numbers. We'll start with the Indians since they won the division. They're now 18-10, and the Yankees almost caught them for that number 2 seed. They fell short. And you can thank the tough division of the American League East. I would say the Yankees are much better than the Indians, but the Yankees have to play the Red Sox and Orioles. And the Indians are playing a fading Tiger team and, well, these Expos. The Indians are hitting .276 with a .350 ERA. Very good numbers. Jim Kern has 5 saves. He's only pitched 10 innings. And that's because they've been winning big. Sometimes that happens. You don't need your closer if you're dominating. He's been great. 1 run in 10 innings pitched and 5 saves. Very balanced attack. Gaylord Perry's only 4-3. Waits 4-2. Eckersley, that's his first loss. He's 3-1. At the plate, 5 home runs apiece for Lee Lacy and Andre Thornton and 22 RBIs. The hits, very consistent. Very consistent team, up and down. No superstar stands out. Oh, actually, one guy does. Delaney is 38 for 118. In the leadoff spot, hitting .322, that .341 card. And your Expos. Here they are, 15-12. Currently tied in a 3-way tie for wild card position, but they have to root for the other teams, Milwaukee and Baltimore, to stumble. If neither stumbles, they could be on the outside looking in. They are hitting .270 as a team with a .327 ERA. Very good statistically. This team has scored 130 runs and given up 101 runs, so it's not a fluke. This is a good Expo team, and they're doing it without Steve Rogers having a good year. Rogers is 1-4. The rest of the rotation, Sanderson, Rudy May, and Hal Dews, are 11-3. Sosa has 4 saves in the bullpen. Power-wise, it is Larry Parrish. He's your team MVP. He's got 8 bombs, 22 RBIs. He's 38 for 107. Hitting .355. I told you, Larry Parrish. 79 magic here. He's your leading Expo. And congratulations, Expos, for sticking around. We played 442 games, .274 league average, .430 team ERA. And we look at the current standings now. There it is. And you see how close it is for the seeding here. The Indians, 18-10, which means the Yankees won 1 more and lost 2 more. So they have the percentage, and they also have the half game in the standings over the Yankees. So there are 2. Royals are a 1. Yankees are a 3. And Angels are a 4. Baltimore, yeah, they can't quite catch the Yankees. Best you can do is go pick up a game and a half, and they're 2 games back. So the divisions are all decided. But here are your Expos at 15-12, playing .556 ball. You got the Brewers at 14-11 and the Orioles at 14-11. Percentage points better. And all the Expos need is for the Twins to beat the Brewers, but don't beat them by too much. Beat them 3-2. If you do that, the Expos would have a better percentage than the Twins. The Twins have to beat the Brewers 3-1. And up here, well, Baltimore simply needs to win the series. If they lose the series to the Red Sox, they would just be 2 games over 500. So that's it. Congratulations, Expos. They win the series 3-1, and we'll see you next time.